Welcome, everybody. It is a soccer Saturday night at Ricardo Silva Stadium on the campus of Florida International University. And we have got a good one. Two of the hottest teams in USL Championship. Miami FC hosting Monterey Bay FC. Thrilled you are with us. Drew Felios alongside the former pro, Chris Nurse. Chris, we have got one heck of a matchup here tonight. First, you've got the home side, Miami, unbeaten in their last 6 matches.
Yeah, Miami have been on a hot streak of form recently, unbeaten in their last 6 games. This is the kind of form they want to take into the playoffs. They weren't strong at the beginning of the season, but they've got players fit. They're now a lot of cohesion between the team and chemistry. Now it's putting on some strong performances. Great goal here from Chapman Page.
This is their first ever meeting with the Union. Interested to see how the home side responds tonight, but certainly a lot to play for. Heading to that postseason, trying to fine-tune their overall game. Monterey Bay on the other side, red hot offensively, 8 goals in their last 2 outings. Team in their inaugural season, local community has really embraced them, coming off an emotional one against Phoenix Rising.
Yeah, you can see in this clip, very dynamic in the attack. They'll feel so heartbroken that they didn't get the win against Phoenix, but it's going to be so important to see how they respond tonight. 3 points outside the playoffs with a game in hand. Playoff hope still very much alive. Going to need a big performance to beat a Miami team who have been very strong recently.
That tremendous skill, this team from Monterey Bay. Oh, we have got a good one. Sit back and enjoy USL Championship soccer coming up next on ESPN+.
Some people think Miami is just flamingos and palm trees.
And hell yes, we have badass sunsets.
But Miami's Little Havana,
Doral,
Little Haiti,
Hialeah,
Wynwood, Coconut Grove,
Kendall,
Calle Ocho,
Sweetwater,
Homestead,
cortaditos y coladas
empanadas y croquetas.
is so much more. This is the 305.
This is who we really are. This is what we are all about.
I am Latino.
I'm a disruptor.
I am LGBTQ.
I am a villain.
I am a mother.
I am Haitian.
I am an athlete.
I am an activist.
I am a king.
I am American Dream.
I am the future.
I am
Miami FC.
Tonight's match is presented in part by Helbiz, by Baptist Health Orthopedic Care, Macron, and by Broadmax Networks. So just moments away from kick. Miami FC on one side, Monterey Bay on the other. Teams being introduced, and we'll introduce you to our lineups as tonight's starting lineups brought to you by Helbiz. A look at Miami FC led by Jake Mcguire, the 28-year-old goalkeeper.
Yeah, looking like a very expansive 4-3-3 formation for Miami FC. We spoke about they didn't necessarily start the season with the cohesion and results and performances that we expect from this organization, but they're definitely picking up steam at the right time. I think they'll still be disappointed they didn't challenge for #1 regular season champions, but I think they're picking up the right type of form at the right moment, the right point in time, approaching the playoffs. Strong performances from players, also good results from the team.
Take a look at Monterey Bay's starting 11. Anthony Siaha gets the nod in goal. And again, this side playing tremendous as of late. 4 games unbeaten. Which player tonight are you really looking forward to seeing?
I think it's going to be interesting because Claudio and Cortez, we spoke about the previous game. Yeah, Velasquez probably should have had a hat-trick in that previous game, and he doesn't start tonight. And this is a game they have to win to keep their playoff hopes alive. It's going to be interesting to see if we see that intensity, that desperation, that urgency from the Monterey Bay team from the get-go, because this is not a game where they can afford to go 1-0 down away from home and pull back. Miami FC have been extremely strong recently, especially at home on the home stadium. So there's a lot to play for tonight. Going to be a very exciting affair. I'm looking forward to it.
2 tremendous head coaches. Frank Gallup on one side for Monterey Bay, the former 2-time MLS Coach of the Year. Chris Cortez, he is ready to go. He played here in this stadium last season for Miami, but tonight he is on the other side. And for Miami FC, Anthony Poulos, rising head coach. Really like the way he does business. Very businesslike for the home side.
Yeah, of course, and he comes from a family who also is very much involved in the game. And he spent some time coaching Orlando City, Inter Miami. So he's not coming in as a rookie coach, but he's definitely finding his feet. And the postseason is proving that he's definitely starting to get this team organized and disciplined and picking up good results and playing exciting soccer.
Underway for Miami. Late September feels like late June here. No signs of fall just yet. It is 82 degrees here at the start. Feels a little bit more humid though. Lots of humidity going through the state of Florida as of late. Here is Perez on the attack already. Miami FC knocking on the door, but an offside going to be called. But you see numbers immediately getting forward for the home team.
Yeah, less than 60 seconds gone, and Miami FC have already registered 1 shot on target, albeit offside. You can see that intensity, the urgency, that directness to start the game on the front foot, put Monterey Bay under pressure. This is only marginally offside. It's not that far away. Poor defending there. Nobody was actually seeing Velo making that run and tracking him. It's a huge let-off, but very good start from Miami FC.
Yeah, Florian with 26 interceptions this season in the midfield. 4 goals, 8 assists to his credit. Being airborne there, and we're going to play on. A little physical here at the start. Hugh Roberts gets a foot on it. And here comes Monterey Bay. First chance just outside the 18. Defended, though, very tightly. And you see how physical this game is going to get. You know, first meeting ever between these two sides, but these players very familiar with each other.
Yeah, and although Miami FC find themselves occupying 7th place and they've already made the playoffs, this is a very prideful organization. And 7th isn't, you know, it's not a place where they're thinking, oh, you know, that's good enough for us. This is 7th isn't really good enough for them. They would want to be #1. However, being in the playoffs and being able to go and compete and potentially win a trophy at the end of the season, that's obviously one of their objectives also. But they wouldn't be satisfied with a complete season they have. So now that the form has started to turn around and they're picking up results, players are starting to perform well, this is the continuity that they want to see going forward.
Got this Miami side. Let's get a look here at the throw-in. Maury Donor doing the honors, the Canadian. Back to Miami, though, for a team that has not lost in their last 6 outings. You know, you talk to Coach Anthony Poulos, you don't really get that sense. They feel like they've left a lot of points on the table this season. Yeah,
and he speaks about the previous game against Atlanta United, where they dropped 2 points, albeit they didn't lose the game. They definitely felt like they should have walked away with the 3 points. Some poor defending, they gave away easy chances, and they actually had 3 or 4 chances that they should have put into the back of the net themselves, and it should have been a fairly convincing win, but they didn't put those chances away. Some poor defending allowed Atlanta to get some goals, and they end up leaving the game with only 1 point. Of course, in the playoffs, that can prove when it's going to be all or nothing and you can get knocked out. That's going to be the difference between winners and losers. It's going to be defending and being able to take those chances and be clinical in the final third.
Collected here by James Murphy. Good discipline early on from the visitors. Murphy, the former Rio Grande Valley product, as now Josh Perez. Starting tonight and forward, 4 goals to his credit this year. Miami likes to really set the tone early. Team, though, that has not played particularly well this season at home. Surprisingly, they're a much better road team than how they fared here inside Ricardo Silva Stadium.
Yeah, I think if you look at the defensive pairing, especially the two centre backs, Paco Craig and Chapman Page, you know, these are probably two of the best centre backs that USL Championship has seen for the past couple of seasons. So they have a strong pairing in the centre backs, and obviously you have the support of Segers and Stanley on the flanks. But they found a way now to be more defensively cohesive and solid, and I think that's given them a platform to go on and build from. I think early in the season they were struggling from some injuries. They didn't have some of those players in the lineups, and it gave them some struggles. But I think now, as the season's progressed, they've got bodies healthy, they've got the cohesion, they've got players in who are able to win games, who have a reputation of winning games and winning trophies, and now you're starting to see that success on the field.
Saw Cortez's header put on frame, and right there, the first time Jake Mcguire touches it for the home side. Just underway, Drew Felios and Chris Nurse and our incredible production crew, camera crew here tonight. Late in the season, postseason starting to take shape in USL Championship. That postseason brought to you, of course, by Hisense this year. So looking forward to it, we are. But still, lots of unfinished business, and you've got a Monterey Bay team that feels like they are postseason worthy, but they have got to play virtually error-free soccer here the rest of the regular season.
Yeah, for Monterey Bay, it's so important, the mentality of the players in this game.
Numbers once more, sliding one through from the right side and just going to be offside. Well, looked like that play certainly had a chance.
Yep. What we're saying about Monterey and how they approach the game is they know that this is a must-win game. They're in a situation of desperation where they need to pick up 3 points. And if they're too expansive and too aggressive in their attack, they leave themselves wide open for Miami to counter-attack and score against them. So they've got to be delicate in how they attack and how they defend.
Lots of options on that opportunity had that ball stayed onside. Battle in the midfield continues here. Grant Robinson had a big goal against Phoenix the other night. So if you're Monterey Bay, you're coming off a midweek game, but they look fresh as can be right now. Strike by Rebelar gets deflected. It's never easy. You talk about scheduling to play midweek and then come across the country like the visitors have to do here tonight.
Yeah, but the good thing is that Monterey Bay, they probably should have beaten Phoenix midweek. You know, they had a very late penalty that if converted, they walk away from that game with all 3 points. And right now they're sitting in a playoff position with a game in hand. It gives them a very strong position going into the last 4 or 5 games. However, they didn't get that result. And the best thing that you want when you're a player is, and you don't get the result you want the next game to come around quickly. So you can let that one go and you can almost reset your momentum. So knowing that they felt a little bit hard done by that they didn't get that result, the players will be, or they should be enthused that they have another opportunity very quickly to go ahead and get that positive momentum back. And if they're going to make the playoffs, in honesty, they need to be picking up these results. They need to be getting wins. You may face Miami FC in the playoffs, but these are teams that you're going to come up against. And if you're going to be successful, you have to be able to beat them. So it's a good challenge for Monterey Bay. They're sitting outside of the playoffs right now. If they're going to cross that final hurdle, these are the kind of games they need to be winning.
So here comes Miami. This is Josh Perez playing out of the corner. Perez gets it back near that touchline. And now Devin Williams, Speedy Williams, the Jamaican, with it. He covers so much ground. Looks like he's always getting younger, just 30 years old. Love watching him compete. And here he is. Now it's Mark Segbers.
I think the challenge a lot of teams face when they come to Florida is the humidity that we have here in Florida. It's very difficult to acclimatize to quickly, and the style of play that you play with in humidity, you have to be able to adapt. There's going to be periods when you can be very aggressive and you can press and move the ball quickly, but there's also periods when you need to be a little bit more slower and possess the ball and give yourselves a chance to recover and be methodical in how you approach the game. I think that's what's allowed Miami FC to start picking up that momentum, is that they have an understanding of how to control that humidity in terms of the flow of the game.
Miami finding feet, cut off though there, and James Murphy clearing it for the visiting side.
If you don't balance that approach of how you play the game, you can burn out of gas very quickly. and then it makes it very difficult to recover, and that's when teams can take advantage of you. So having the experience and the exposure of playing under these conditions frequently should give Miami a huge advantage when they're at home.
Keep an eye on number 4 in blue tonight. Bottom of your screen, Callum Chapman-Page. Had a big goal against Atlanta United. Got Miami on the board. He's got it right now. Really does great work in the back. Now it's Segbers. And he'll go down. Have a foul right there. So lots of contact here in the first 10. So Miami FC will have it now in a pretty good spot. And our first free kick of the night.
You know, we're talking about approaching the postseason. Paco Craig, centre-back from Miami FC, is a player who's won the USL Championship with Louisville City prior. And these are the kind of leaders and the experience that you want in your team. Players who have been in these situations before, who know how to motivate other players in the team, who know how to motivate themselves, who are able to bring calm and tranquility sometimes, but also know when to increase the tempo and be a little bit more aggressive and intense. So his leadership and what he can bring to this team is invaluable, and I think he's one of the key players that were missing earlier in the season.
Florian Valot, the midfielder. 8 assists to his credit this season. Stanley. Ball headed up in the air.
Valot can be so deceptive. In the previous game, he had 3 or 4 shots of his left foot, and there you see him taking set pieces of his right foot. If you're defending against him, it's difficult to know which side he's going to go. He's very capable of using both feet effectively, which is such a key skill that you try to put into players at a young age, is the ability to use both feet. Not everybody gets it, and not everybody needs it. You know, Ryan Giggs very rarely used his right foot, but what a tremendous player, one of the best left footers that we've ever seen. But you always try to have that ability to use both feet. Confuses defenders, they don't know which side to show you. It gives you a huge advantage on the pitch.
Chapman-Page now sends it near side. Segbers. Pretty evenly matched here thus far, and a clear hold right there. And that'll be yellow. Segbers held on for dear life.
Clever play in the center of the park there from Murphy. Just uses his body to shield the ball, and he turns without even touching the ball. And Segbers gets sold. And he should kind of just recover and let him go. Now he's treading eggshells for the rest of the game on a yellow card. Murphy's got the upper hand on him, but great midfield play there from Murphy. Just the awareness to know that to use his body, let the ball run across him.
I saw the look on Murphy's face, like, what did you expect?
A yellow card has been issued by the referee to Miami.
He didn't realize that you only exchange jerseys at the end of the game, not 10 minutes in.
I would say. This ball sent long. Monterey Bay, though, playing in their inaugural season. Remember, this was a side that was formerly Fresno FC, but the way that they have just gotten momentum about the midway point. They had that big win, remember, against Lou City up at Lynn Family Stadium. Ever since then, just a new confidence, and they have been racking up points, and the sky is the limit for this team if they can just find a spot in the postseason.
Yeah, and we spoke about the tie that they had midweek against Phoenix. A great game. Neither team had had a penalty for the whole season in respect to the game, and I think there was 2 or 3 penalties in that one game, but they had the opportunity of a penalty kick to win in the dying stages, and heartbreaking to see it sail over the crossbar. But as we spoke about tonight, it's another game, fantastic opportunity to turn that around. What a ball in behind there.
Trying to get to it before the end line, and it's just going to get by. So goal kick.
Just a little too much on disguise, a little too much disguise on there for his own teammate.
That's Christian Sordo right there, the forward. Couple goals, couple assists to his credit this year. Now you take a look at Anthony Pulis, second season here with Miami. Great soccer family, son of Tony, nephew of Ray, and a journeyman as a player. And you know what they say, the best coaches aren't always the best players. You know, it's the guys who are the students of the game that make the best coaches, and I think Pulis is one of those.
Yeah, and being a student in the game, that's the most important part, is that you pick up and you learn from all the experiences. And I think North America allows that so much, because there's so much interaction from Colombia, Argentina, all the different ethnicities that we have in the United States. It allows you to learn so many different styles of the game. Every player brings a different style. I grew up in England, and very much everybody was similar. But I find in North America, where there's that mixture of different ethnicities, it just teaches you so many different aspects of the game, so many different ways that people play the game, teach the game, coach the game. And if you're able to observe and learn from all the experiences, of course, his dad coached in the Premier League. You know, when he needs advice or guidance, he's got the top mentors to go to. But phenomenal. I love to see young coaches out there learning, bringing that experience to the next generation.
Jake Mcguire again making his presence felt. Ball struck pretty well by Murphy. Got two pretty good Murphys on both sides tonight. James Murphy from Monterey Bay and Kyle Murphy from Miami. And we've got major contact there. Player goes down for Monterey Bay. We already had one yellow dealt out. Could we have the second here? Every home site in USL Championship has its own unique environment and atmosphere. You can hear the noisemakers throughout the night tonight right now in full effect. And let's take one more look right there. Clearly,
it's strong.
Up.
It's strong, but it's not dirty. He connects with the ball, but the follow through does connect with the player's ankle. A few years ago, that would have been a great challenge. Now, you know, the referees will pull you up for that because of the connection with the player after and potential for injury. But that's just one of the ways that the game has evolved and changed for the good or the bad. Depends who you're talking to, who agrees with it. But yeah, something players have to be far more mindful of now is the follow through after they connect with the ball.
Josh Perez running for the home side. Trying to get those numbers forward. And halt this run. Lots of tugging and grabbing so far in this match. Walmer Martinez right there, the midfielder. Yeah, clearly that is going to be called. I think the officials trying to send an early message, set a tone. Cannot allow this type of play throughout the entire match.
Yeah, he's definitely setting the tempo. He's not going to allow players to tug or pull players down when they've got the momentum going forward. We saw it earlier when Murphy turned in midfield, was about to drive forward. We saw it there on the left-hand side, Perez driving forward with the ball. When players get beaten, he's not going to allow you just to pull them down and get the advantage for your team. So now players have to defend properly with good concentration and anticipation and good body positioning. Because if you get caught the wrong side, the referee's already made a statement that he's not going to allow you to pull players down and allow the attackers to lose that advantage.
Akinyoti now sends it back. Paco Craig. Mentioned Craig and his value to Miami here this year. Feels right at home. Anthony Siaha, 6'6" in net tonight for Monterey Bay. He has certainly got that wingspan, doesn't he?
Well, you're expecting to see him claiming a lot of corners and free kicks. Nice skill there from Robinson to get himself out of trouble, but just unable to connect with the pass.
So the band is up and active here in the first 20. Entertaining match thus far. Kyle Murphy sending it left. Miami getting numbers forward. Put it in position on a platter at the doorstep and knocked down. Tremendous save by Anthony Siaha. Josh Perez had the ticket to goal number 1, just couldn't cash it in.
That ball over the top deserved the goal. I think Perez did everything right here, but goalkeeper Siaha does ever so well to make the save, and I think it goes under him and Roberts gets behind him to save it from going into the back and clears it off the line. But what a ball behind here. Great first touch here from Perez. Just tries to slide past the goalkeeper. Hugh Roberts gets behind Siaha and saves it off the line, but for me that pass over the top was exceptional. It deserved the goal.
How about Hugh Roberts too coming in at the very last moment? That ball could have easily slid past even after the save.
Yeah, and that's why it's so important for defenders to stay awake for the second ball. It may not be the first one. It looked like Siaha was going to make the save, but Roberts did a good job of staying with the play because it actually went under him and was rolling into the back of the net. If Roberts hadn't have been there, Miami FC would find themselves 1-0 ahead right now. But I'm still in awe at that first pass that created the opportunity.
Here's Perez. Ganged up on that time. Rebelar comes out of there with it. And now Miami able to win it back by Devin Williams.
And you see that fluidity that Miami FC has. We've seen Perez pop up on the left wing. We now see him popping up from the right wing. He was taking players on down the left side earlier. Now he's making runs from outside to inside to get onto the end of that chance. And Soto, they have a fluidity in how the front three play, where they switch positions. Makes it very difficult to pick up a mark.
Ball sent into the box now from the left side. And drilled, then deflected out. Chapman Page was right there for Miami. And on top of it, Chris Cortez is playing his old team here tonight. But the pace has really, really picked up. Murphy. Taken care of by Williams as Perez gets it right back to him. Just seems like just run a little bit faster on this artificial surface than on a natural grass surface. As a former player, do you see any truth to that?
Yeah, definitely, especially when it gets wet. The ball gets very slick on a surface like this. And this is a good surface. It's not your average turf. This is one of the better turfs that you play on. And when it gets wet and slippy, the ball moves very quickly. So it actually helps having a good speed of tempo in the way the game plays. Of course, it does have a little bit different when the ball's bouncing and it's coming in the air, because it just doesn't roll the same as it does on grass. But in terms of when the ball's on the floor and it's slippy like this, it makes the game very quick.
It's kind of got an indoor feel to this match.
And you have to focus a little bit more on your first touch, because the ball could be fizzed into you, and when it picks up off the turf, it can just skid in a little bit quicker. And if you're not focused or concentrating, it can be your Achilles heels, especially for goalkeepers.
Segbers now attacking, and inside the box flying in Rebelar to knock it out.
But of course, that again buys into the home advantage. You know, you train on this field, you play on this field, you get more accustomed to those circumstances than the away team. That's why it's always good when the team come in a couple of days in advance and train on the surface prior, so that the players get accustomed. You're not going to get fully accustomed to it, but you know a little bit more what to expect from the surface. It does have a huge difference at this level, especially in the both boxes, where they're the critical areas where games are won and lost.
Corner kick coming up for Miami FC. And placing it down, it's going to be Aiden Stanley. Ciciaha right there of Tucson, Arizona. Got that big wingspan. Had a short stint with the San Diego Loyal. And you see the official getting in there to separate Chapman Page and Green, who are right now nose to nose.
Chapman Page giving somebody a piece of his mind. He's not happy with somebody.
Chapman Page is that type of player who wears his emotions on his sleeve.
It's always good to be that leader, that person, as long as it doesn't become a distraction. You know, the tempo of the game's been good now, and now there's been a little pause, a little longer than Miami FC would have liked, especially when they've had the attacking momentum. Sometimes that display of aggression or frustration can be intentional. Sometimes it's not just a wild frustration or emotion. Sometimes it's intentional to slow down the tempo of the game sometimes.
Perez sends it back, and this ball sent in. Valo with another touch. Perez trying to get to it once more. Miami trying to take advantage here of this opportunity. They'll send it into the box, and it's knocked right out. Good spot there for Josh Perez, and now Miami resets. Stanley threads the needle. Perez in the box now, and this ball again, that's how he put it, with a great idea right there, right in the middle of that 6-yard box.
Perez has had a fantastic start to this game. If it's not creating opportunities for other people, it's the chances that he's had to score goals himself, and Valo have a great connection there. We see some 1-2 play with him, but great timed run. He doesn't deliver with his left foot, uses his right foot. As we spoke about players being both-footed, he displays that here, using his right foot, not his left foot, and it's another great opportunity there for Miami FC. Coach Anthony Poulis spoke about the game against Atlanta, and he feels like they should have converted more opportunities. I feel like the opening 25 minutes in this game so far is of a similar tone. They've had chances that they should have taken, albeit I don't think it's necessarily been bad finishing. I thought Cioja has been very good in goal, probably saving chances that he shouldn't have so far, especially that shot we saw earlier from Perez. But definitely Miami FC had the opportunities to be in the lead right now.
So Perez, the recipient of the foul, 24-year-old out of El Salvador. The El Salvador national, Miami thrilled to have him on their side. See Siaha taking a deep breath, 24th minute. Second free kick here for Miami FC, and it's going to be Valo. He'll go to the far post with it. Top of the box now, and a good job by Monterey Bay coming out of there with it.
And it's funny you mentioned the age of Perez, Drew, because I was having this discussion with a colleague earlier about, you know, what's considered young and inexperienced now. With the game, you can see like professional teams now, the age of players is getting younger and younger and younger. At 24, when I was playing, you would still be classed as a young player. And if you're watching Perez right now, he doesn't look like a young player. He plays like a very experienced, you would think he's 27, 28 in the way he plays the game, very composed, he plays with a lot of experience. The game has got younger and younger and younger now. And we used to call 17, 18, 19-year-olds young. But I feel like this is what the game is becoming. It's becoming younger players out there because more dynamic, more speed, more energy, more technique. So I feel like 24 now, you might be classed as a veteran or a senior player because the game is getting younger. I don't see that as a negative. I still think if you're good enough, you're old enough, irrespective of you're young or you're old. But I definitely think we're seeing a trend in that average age on teams becoming much, much younger.
Great perspective by Chris Nurse, the former pro. Good match thus far. Miami, another opportunity on the ground. And there you see Siaha coming up big once again for Monterey Bay.
Yeah, you see Murphy there making the run to the far post. If there's anybody making the run near post in front of the goalkeeper there, Miami FC are 1-0 ahead. But here you see there's nobody making the near post run. Velo, maybe could he have turned on the jets and tried to get there? Good opportunity again there. There's been good, dangerous balls into the box for Miami FC to get onto the score sheet. They just haven't been able to convert it yet, but you have to sense if the momentum keeps going like this, it's only a matter of time, and that would be detrimental, tremendously detrimental for Monterey Bay's playoff hopes.
Monterey Bay only 4 wins on the road this season. This would be a biggie tonight. They could find a way to pull it out. Taken away. Say Miami has a slight edge at this point, just with the pace of play.
The pace of play, they're on the front foot. You can see they're winning 50-50s. They're first to the loose balls. They just feel like they're half an inch mentally sharper than Monterey Bay right now. And that could be a byproduct of Monterey Bay playing midweek. It could be a little bit fatigue. It could be them away from home. But they've got to find a way to win tonight. You can put all the obstacles that you want in front of them. If they want to make the playoffs, they have to learn to win away from home. You've got to be able to do that. And if they want to make the playoffs, period, they've got to get 3 points tonight.
Callum Chapman-Page sending it a little bit heavy-footed that time as it sails over, and it'll be handled by Siaha. Yeah, it seems like if you want to be a postseason team, you've got to win a couple biggies on the road. And this game would certainly classify as one of those here.
And especially at this phase of the season, you know, earlier in the season, yes, it may be difficult to win away from home, and you can kind of accept those challenges. But when you're approaching the playoffs, you've got to be able to win anywhere. Whether it's a neutral stadium, home, away, you've got to be able to go out there and put fear into your opponents. You want Miami FC to be fearful that Monterey Bay are able to come away from home and put on good performances and win games.
Anthony Pulis, you know, he coached Orlando City and St. Louis before his stop here in Miami, and he is a guy who could be here for an awfully long time. And Perez, talk about the hustle. You saw him just go right into the advertisement on that last possession. He will lay it all on the line.
And speaking about Anthony Pulis, when we talk about coaches now, you know, you can have all the experience you want, you can have all the qualifications, but the most important factor is your ability to manage the players, to get the best out of each player that's on your squad. And I think towards the latter end of this season, we're starting to see that with Miami FC. You can see players performing, maximizing their potential. The team is starting to perform, albeit we're not seeing that conversion rate in the final third that maybe they believe they deserve, but you're definitely starting to see the more potential coming out of the players in the team. And that is, for me, is when you really see the top coaches, when they're able to extract the best potential out of each individual player. That's not always the case just because somebody has a license or where they did their coaching education.
Free kick here from Monterey Bay. Trying to establish a little momentum here. They'll do it with the set piece. So James Murphy former Rio Grande Valley product. And you take a look right there, Frank Yallop, two-time MLS Coach of the Year. Coach Phoenix Rising, Coach Fresno, Coach Las Vegas. He has been around the block a few times as well.
Of course, and tons of MLS experience also. So, you know, he's a coach who's been there, done it, somebody who the players can learn off. He's been in these situations before. He's been in the playoffs. He's coached at the highest level. So, you know, I'm sure he's embracing this challenge of getting Monterey Bay across that final hurdle and into the playoff spots. And then, you know, can they go all the way? Every team, if you're going to make the playoffs, you have to be believing that you can go all the way. If you're in the playoffs and you're questioning your ability to win the championship, then you probably shouldn't be there. If you're there, you have to believe that you can go all the way.
Handled by Jake Mcguire. Paco Craig now, and Miami building from the back. 30th minute, still looking for our first goal.
And I feel like Miami FC have had the dominance of possession in this first half, the opening 30 minutes. I don't think we've had to call on Chapman Page or Paco Craig in terms of their defensive capabilities very often so far in this opening 30. I think Monterey Bay are going to want to put those two under a little bit more pressure.
Segbers sets this one and looked like he was just out of bounds as well.
If they watch the game against Atlanta United, they will realize that there is opportunities to score goals against Miami FC if you put them under pressure. But right now, I don't feel like they put Miami's backline under pressure or tested them enough to create any clear-cut goal-scoring opportunities. And that's going to be something they need to address. They need to put that backline under pressure, test them, make them have to turn around and face their own goal, and make them have to do some defending. I think so far, Miami have had a fairly comfortable role in keeping possession of the ball and dictating the tempo of play.
Segbers going down. It gets up slowly for Miami. I mention also it is Pride Night here in Miami tonight. Pre-game DJ, Citizen Jane. Tremendous enthusiasm in the stadium here for this USL Championship contest.
For sure, if it's Pride Night, they want to get 3 points. You're not going to have much pride if you're at home and you don't end up taking away 3 points. So I think there's a lot at stake in tonight's performance.
Williams sends it back. Just a great atmosphere here. Great venue for soccer at FIU. Segbers. And this one cut off. Monterey Bay trying to shut down that final third. Now it's Akinyoti. Goes down in the center circle, and now Monterey Bay with the counter. Look out, here come the Union. Tremendous pace. Miami retreating defensively. Nice touch inside the box, just need one final one. It's cut down.
And that's the danger that Miami FC have to watch out for, is the counter-attack. We know that Monterey Bay, even in their last game against Phoenix, so dynamic in the attack. The three forwards, tons of speed, they bomb forward at pace, and they can catch you unaware. If you get too comfortable, because maybe Miami FC hadn't done a lot of defending so far in this opening 30 minutes, then those three set off on the Jets, put you under pressure, and they can create goal-scoring opportunities very quickly. So that's something that Miami FC need to be very wary of, is that dynamic trio up top for Monterey Bay.
Could just tell by the look of the players, it is one humid night in South Florida.
Yeah, as we spoke about, for the home team, you use that to your advantage. Miami FC use that to their advantage against the away teams. They know it's humid, and it's harder for the away team than it is for the home team. Miami FC train in these conditions daily, so it's something that you become accustomed to. It's part of the game, unfortunately. Unfortunately, I don't know if it's that unfortunate, but it's definitely part of the game for Miami. But it's something that they can for sure use to their advantage.
Ball was loose there momentarily. Attempt to clear. Miami able to collect it once again. Really like the home side's pace here in this first half. Really nice command. Paco Craig now switching that point of attack.
And you can see the shape of the team in possession. They make the field as wide as possible, Miami FC, creating holes in the Monterey Bay team shape, because Monterey get very stretched trying to cover the field. And that's how they find the ball into the likes of Murphy or Soto or Perez in dangerous areas where they can go forward and create goal-scoring opportunities.
Now set to the far side and cut back. Monterey Bay trying to possess. A hard time advancing it, though, because Miami with that light press just kind of hanging around waiting for a mistake.
Yeah, and that's the danger. you see when Monterey Bay have possession of the ball, many of their passes are deep in their defensive third. And that only allows Miami FC to creep up higher as the pitch as they make those connecting passes and put more pressure on them in deeper areas. I think they want to advance the ball into the midfield and try to sustain possession in the attacking third rather than just connecting passes in defensive third right now. That's not very threatening to the Miami FC defense.
So here's Miami. Bottom of your screen, Mark Segbers. Akanyoti handling for the home side, and now Paco Craig. Craig able to get by that first line of defense, and here he comes. Miami with some numbers here. This is Valo sending it right. Segbers. Once again, not the touch he was looking for.
I think that's the additional value that Paco Craig and Chapman Page bring to Miami FC, is their ability to drive forward into midfield and create numerical overloads, and then being able to play forward and switch the point of attack so quickly. That ability to drive forward is so key to kickstarting the attack. Centre backs are almost like the beginning of the attacking play.
So Valo and Segbers teaming up, posting up now. Saw Cal Murphy, the big forward. He has not touched it often here early in this match. Former Clemson Tiger, 10 goals on the season, Miami's lead scorer.
And while Miami may have had the better chances in the possession, Monterey Bay will still be gaining a little bit of confidence that they're able to stay in this game and still keep the score 0-0, 35 minutes gone. As the game continues, obviously the pressure is always on the home team, especially, you know, with their 6-game unbeaten streak. The pressure's on Miami FC to continue that. But as the game kicks on, Monterey Bay will become confident that they will get an opportunity or they will get a chance to score a goal in this game. It's just a case of how clinical will they be.
Looking for Perez. Ball comes back. And Monterey Bay clearing it once again. Paco Craig, safety valve, tries to continue the run. Miami with some good chances here in this sequence.
Even when Monterey Bay, as you just mentioned, even when they've won back possession of the ball, they haven't been able to sustain the possession. It's been clearances that have given Miami the ball back and allowed them to restart building their attack. So that's going to be something they want to address. When they work hard, because they don't have a lot of possession, it means that you're using way more energy than Miami FC right now. To keep your shape, discipline, chasing, tracking runners, you're using tons of energy, which is going to wear down on you in the end of the game. When you win the ball, you've got to try to be a little bit more responsible in possession, keep it for a little bit. At least if you're going to play direct, find your centre forward so he can try and hold it up and allow you to get higher up the field. Right now, they're just clearing it back to Miami FC.
Callum Chapman Page looking for an opening, sends it down. Ball is headed. Josh Perez, a little flat-footed that time, and Monterey Bay trying to get some sort of possession going. That's a good way to start. Here they come, and they've got numbers. Flying through at the very last moment, Paco Craig. You think he wants this game tonight?
There we saw glimpses of that dynamic attack from Monterey Bay, but the touch from Dona was just a little bit too heavy. Gave Paco Craig the opportunity to come across and clear it out. Here you see a great ball into space here. If he gets this under control and drives a little bit closer control, but the touch is too heavy, gives Paco Craig a great opportunity there to come away and clear the ball, and he makes no mistake in doing so.
Maury Donor was in stride. Could not make anything of it.
But that's the difference, is those opportunities or those moments that they have in the game, they've got to make them count. That heavy touch and giveaway, now they're under pressure again defending. Rather than having a good opportunity to create a goal scoring chance, they gave that opportunity away with a touch that was a little bit heavy. And that could be attributed also to the surface. You know, we spoke about it being a little bit more slick than what they may be accustomed to at home. And maybe this first half is them getting adjusted to that, and we see a stronger performance going forward in the second half. But I think if they can sustain this Monterey Bay 0-0 at halftime, it gives head coach Frank Kellup a good opportunity to get the team together at halftime, regroup, and really strategize where they're going to try to attack Miami FC to get that goal and to potentially walk away with 3 points.
Segbers trying to chase it down. Ball sent out. So both of these teams, a combined 10 straight matches between them without a loss. Something has got to give here tonight. So far, again, Miami with the edge. No goals just yet, though, on either side as Siaha takes it out of the air.
I always keep a close eye on the body language or the demeanor of head coaches. I don't think coaches realize how much that the way they interact or their demeanor or their body language translates to the team. And I think, you know, we just saw head coach Anthony Pulis there with kind of like a sense of calm and composure and confidence. And that, I think that translates into the players, into the team in the moments. I think sometimes you see coaches very erratic, shouting, screaming, and that makes players panic. It doesn't allow them to feel comfortable. And maybe we don't give it enough concentration on the impact it does have on the team, but I think it does have a tremendous impact on the team, the demeanor and the energy that the coach is displaying from the sideline. Of course, that can change throughout the course of the game or from game to game, but I think coaches are obviously very mindful in how they're interacting and how they translate that energy onto the team.
'40th minute, Chapman Page and Paco Craig trying to build something special. Union able to come away with it. This is Hunter Gorski. Gorski sending it down into no man's land. And easily tap back to Mcguire.
That's what we were briefly talking about. Good opportunity for Monterey Bay there. Win possession in a good area, and it's kind of an aimless pass. You can see what he was trying to do, but just didn't have any accuracy or quality on the pass and just turned it straight back over to Miami FC, continuing to allow them to build confidence in possession.
Segbers right in the middle of the park. Good spot. Oh, going down quickly as Perez. If he had kept running, that would have been an easy chance. And we've got another yellow card going to be dished out here.
Definitely a yellow card for me. But again, you see that movement from Perez. He starts on the outside and makes those diagonal runs inside. Miami FC have the quality of players in the midfield that have been able to find him on numerous occasions. And Robertson obviously brings down Perez. Smart, maybe just outside the box. Had it been in the box, it's a penalty for sure. Below here, threading passes through needles here to Perez. But he's been a thorn in the side of the Monterey defense for the whole of the first half.
Robinson had that big goal against Phoenix the other night. The third goal in that match for the Union. But Miami FC now with another golden opportunity.
And in these kind of areas, the defenders are trying to anticipate on whether he's going to go direct to goal or deliver to a player making a run inside the box. It's in an area where it's kind of 50-50. You know, you have the players on the ball here who have that quality in their possession. Velo being one of those players, Stanley around the ball. Perez seems to have conceded the set piece to both of those, but two dangerous set piece takers here. Monterey Bay will need to be at peak of concentration here.
It'll be Stanley. That ball's got some hook, and it is reeled in by Siaha. He's got really soft hands. The big man moving nice and gingerly between the pipes.
Yes, Siaha's had to come up a few times big for Monterey Bay in this first half, and he's risen to the occasion, and he's been the man between the sticks that they've needed.
And there's an example right there, just a little bit ambitious. James Murphy can't connect. Ball back to Miami.
Yeah, Monterey Bay have been poor in possession of the ball so far in this opening half.
And it's gotten worse as the half has gone along.
Yeah, and that was a fairly simple, straightforward pass. They're definitely not connecting as we've been accustomed to see them over the weeks. But getting close to halftime can only get better for them in the second half. So it'll be interesting to see that some of the changes that head coach Frank Ellop makes in order to try and maximize this opportunity for this team to get 3 points and climb back into the playoff places.
Now the wind at their back. Here comes Miami. Valo. Ball was touched last by Kyle Murphy before Siaha jumps on top of it.
You see those patterns, though, the strikers from Miami FC making runs in between the centre-backs, in between the space between the fullback and the centre-backs. And Valo just has the quality to just slide those balls in between. it's very important that the Monterey Bay defenders track runners, because the runs that they're making right now, well-timed, players with vision, players with the quality to deliver those passes.
Ball headed straight to Mcguire. And Jake Mcguire, former Chivas star. Get a look right there at Kyle Murphy. Let me ask you this, Chris, because you played this game at the highest level. If you play for 6 teams in 6 years, how does that affect you as a player? Is it a positive thing or a negative thing?
It just depends how you look on it, right? For Murphy, he probably doesn't see it as a negative because people want him. And you can only go to clubs if people want you and they see value in you as a player and what you can bring to their organization. So sometimes maybe somebody's giving him a better offer every year. And, you know, at this level, you don't get 4 or 5-year contracts, unfortunately. It's very rare that you get a 5-year contract where a team puts that faith and belief in you and you're able to settle like that. Normally the contracts are year to year. So maybe each year he's getting the opportunity to move to a club and he's getting upgraded his deal. And it may look like he's just jumping from club to club, but unfortunately he's not locked into a 4-year contract where he has that stability and that confidence to know that this is where he's going to be for the long term. So I think it's something that you see frequently from players at this level. It can be over-examined and looked at like a negative, but I think unless you have the context behind it and you really know what is behind those transfers, we're just speculating. I think if he's trouble or anything, nobody signs him. So I think it's only positive.
Vela a little upset at himself that time. And that's going to bring the first half to a close. So no stoppage time, pretty fluid from start to finish. Miami FC and Monterey Bay. As Coach Pulis making the notes, he'll address his team at halftime. Several adjustments will be made for sure. Halftime festivities coming up. Miami FC and Monterey Bay. Scoreless at the half here in Miami.
I am determined.
I am a dreamer.
I am a Jamaican.
I am Peruano.
I am Italian.
I am relentless.
I am an animal.
I am French.
I am a Geta diamond. I am resilient.
Welcome back to Miami. Drew Felios along with Chris Nurse. Miami FC and Monterey Bay. Scoreless tie here after 45 minutes of play. Very, very fast pace though on both sides. Miami with a slight edge in possession and the tempo as well. Let's take a look at the remaining schedule. The regular season in USL Championship slowly coming to a close. Memphis 901 FC on deck for Miami. That'll close out this 3-game homestand. And then on the road for 2, Las Vegas Lights and Detroit City.
Yeah, I think Memphis 901 is the team that everybody needs to watch out for. We thought that the regular season was done and dusted and it was going to be Louisville's. However, Memphis has got themselves within just 2 points of being number 1.
Then for Monterey Bay at Las Vegas, Chris, and then they host the Tampa Bay Rowdies. That'll be a nice test before heading to FC Tulsa and Rio Grande Valley.
Yeah, some tough games, and obviously they're facing it when the teams that's competing also for the player position. Tampa Bay Rowdies is going to be a difficult game also, so it's not straightforward for Monterey Bay to make that playoff position, but as we spoke about, it starts tonight, 45 minutes left, the desperation gets a little bit closer now. They've got to go on and try and get 3 points.
I'm on that routine. I'm on that routine.
Goes topics. I mean, yeah, let's talk about today where I'm going to go topics.
Roll it down.
I am.
You don't need a car to listen to Sirius XM. You can listen anywhere. You know that, right?
What? Kevin Hart's Laugh Out Loud Radio.
Kevin, you could use your phone.
What? What?
Alexa, play Kevin Hart's Laugh Out Loud Radio on Sirius XM.
What?
This is how I know you're getting old. I guess that was it.
What?
Louisville City grabs the lead. And there's a goal. Right on cue. Wilson Harris sends this place into a frenzy.
Knocks it into the back of the net, and 901 FC's got the lead.
The goal! What a thing of beauty! You could not have drawn that up any better.
Back here in Miami, humid night in South Florida. So far, no goals on the board. Miami FC and Monterey Bay FC. Drew Felios alongside Chris Nurse. Let's take a look at the news and notes around the league. Locked in, all 7 Eastern Conference playoff teams are set. Seeding still yet to be determined over the next few weeks. And as far as the West is concerned, San Antonio can lock up the top spot. That is this weekend. And then, of course, San Diego Loyal. They are also in, and others still alive, but still yet to be determined. Championship dates are confirmed. Mark your calendar, November 13th, the USL Championship Final. Standings look like this. Lou City and Memphis. Rowdies in Birmingham. Draw last night in Tampa. And then you've got Pittsburgh Riverhounds, Detroit City. Miami FC also will play in the postseason. FC Tulsa on the outside looking in. Take a look at that network schedule. Games to watch. Colorado Springs and Oakland, San Antonio, Sac Republic this weekend. You got Las Vegas Lights and San Diego, and then Indy 11 taking on Loudoun United FC. Another tremendous week of USL Championship Soccer. Well, on a somber note, on Thursday, the American soccer community lost a coaching legend, Tim Hankinson, coached for more than 40 years, including stints with the USL's Charleston Battery, Indy 11, and Chattanooga Red Wolves, as well as working as a broadcaster for San Antonio FC. The entire USL mourns his passing. Our thoughts are with his family and all the players who ever called him coach.
I am determined.
I am a dreamer.
I am a Jamaican.
I am Peruano.
I am Italian.
I am relentless.
I am an animal.
I am French.
I get the diamond. I am resilient.
Tonight's match is presented in part by Helbiz, by Baptist Health Orthopedic Care, Macron, and by Broadmax Networks. Welcome back to Miami, USL Championship Soccer on ESPN Plus, and an eventful first half, even though no goals to show for, no lack of action on either side. Let's take it to the 18th minute. Miami at that point started to really get into their flow, and a great chance here by Perez. Knocked down though, and then bailed out right there. Hugh Roberts comes up big, but Siaha, the keeper, really made it happen.
Yeah, I thought the pass over the top deserved the goal. Perez, well-timed run from outside to in. Again, he was a thorn in the side for Monterey Bay the whole of the first half. Here we see him again on the right flank, tricky in possession, sliding the ball in for his teammates, either creating opportunities for himself or creating opportunities for his teammates. Perez again getting on the ball here, low-driven right-footed cross, just no one there at the back stick to convert it.
26th minute, and the chances would continue for the home side. Akinyoti puts in a really good spot, trying to get Murphy, but again, Siaha comes up to cut it off. 42nd minute, set piece coming up. This is Valo handing it off to Stanley, and Stanley with that hook. Siaha has been really on point from start to finish.
Yeah, Stanley with the left-footed shot there from the set piece, trying to bend the ball around the outside of the wall, but Siaha has done phenomenal in that first half. Very strong, very confident performance. That'll be giving his defense a lot of confidence also, but if the onslaught continues for Miami FC in the second half, I can see a goal coming their way fairly shortly. If Monterey Bay are able to sustain some period of possession and create some goal-scoring opportunities, I think they have also an opportunity to score against this Miami FC back line. However, we've not seen that in the first half so far.
Saw our officials right there in that last shot. You know, I think they did a really good job in that first half. Saw a lot of grabbing, clutching, even players being thrown down, and the officials really got control of this game early, and we saw a lot of quality the last part of that first half.
Yeah, I think the referee did a good job in the first 5 minutes by the cards that he's giving out and the fouls that he calls, of putting a stop to any kind of petulance. When players get away from you, the shirt pulling or the pulling them down, he made it very clear that's not going to be tolerated. And I think that allowed for a little bit more fluidity in the play. Players had to be a little bit more mindful of how they defended. There was able to be more fluidity in the possession because players weren't making trivial fouls or little petty fouls to try and stop play, technical fouls, and that allowed it to be a little bit more fluid the way the ball was moving.
Miami FC, you know, this part of the season, always interesting with the playoffs on the horizon. If you're hot, you want to make sure you go into the postseason playing your best soccer. If you're trying to get things going and you're not going to qualify, you still want to finish positive looking into 2023.
Yeah, and look, you're playing games of soccer. The objective is to win. Nobody wants to lose a bunch of games then go and win the playoffs. It's kind of an illegitimate way to win, right? It doesn't really feel the same as going in there, being champions, beating everybody, then you go into playoffs and you continue to beat everybody and then you win. That's really the passion way, the way that everybody feels like a real champion. When you kind of lose and squeak your way in and then win the playoffs, yeah, you won the playoffs, but deep down in your heart, you know that over the course of 9 months, you were not the best team. So I think now being able to kind of bring some stability and consistency in their performances, they want to continue to win as many games as possible, Miami FC, between now and the playoffs, and then continue that strong form into the playoffs. They don't want to now start to bad performances or losing games and then try to turn it around in the playoffs. They want a consistency to the pattern in their performances.
Great atmosphere, family atmosphere inside this stadium tonight, Ricardo Silva Stadium. Great venue for soccer. These two sides playing really high quality thus far. Should be a real fun second half here from Miami.
And I think a big statement that Coach Anthony Pulis makes, we've spoken about them being unbeaten in their past 6 games and the disappointment he's had in a couple of games where they've got ties. A biggest statement he made this week was to go out and sign a striker from Phoenix to kind of give the players who are starting this game the opportunity to go out and prove that you can put the ball into the back of the net, or he's brought in reinforcements who he believe can add to the team and provide that goal-scoring instinct that they're missing with the likes of Repetto now joining this team who's on the bench for tonight's game. So it's going to be very interesting to see if he draws for his reinforcements from the bench or if he continues to put the faith in the players that he has out there right now who have done well, but they've just not been able to convert the final chances and give Miami FC the clinicality that they need in that box area to convert these chances that are being created.
Second half underway. Devin Williams handling it. Now Velo for the home side. Start the second half with the same lineups as we ended the first. So no substitutions made just yet. And now Aiden Stanley gets it in motion. Here's Sorto. Contact right inside the box. The official is right there, and we're going to have a card here to start half number 2, and it is going to be on Miami. Interesting because Sorto goes down, but I think they're going to say that maybe he was a little dramatic that time.
Yeah, and again, I think this is good refereeing. We'll see the replay first. I think it's good refereeing. He set the standard that there's going to be no conning, no play acting here. If you get fouled, it's fouled. But if you try to con the referee into a free kick here, which he has, he knows he didn't get clipped. He's tried to dive and go down in the box and get a penalty. The referee's not having it. He's booking him for play acting. For me, very good refereeing.
As we said, these officials on point here tonight doing a fabulous job so far in this match.
Yeah, he's not only making good decisions, but he's setting the tempo for the game of what's going to be accepted and what's not. If he lets that kind of stuff go for both teams, then it becomes, the game just becomes a little bit silly where players are now diving, trying to con the fourth officials and the referees into bad decisions. Instead of playing the game how they know how to, I think the referee is doing well in having an impact on how the game is being played.
Williams sending it ahead. Now Monterey Bay. Be nice for the Union here to just have 1 or 2 just good, solid possessions. Here's Fallow. Switch the point of attack. Stanley now on top of it. This one serviced in, and the header set up nicely, just could not redirect. Fallow was on top of it for the home side.
Yeah, and you can see similar pattern. First time cross. I think we saw that in the previous game, the highlights, the goal that Chapman Page scored. This time the cross is coming in from the opposite side, but you see the runs towards the far post. Stanley here just leaves the ball hanging for players to attack. Velo does well to get it, but just doesn't quite direct it on target the way he would have liked. But again, another opportunity for Miami FC, not converted.
Just feel like Miami has done everything that they've been supposed to do except score.
And that can be the most dangerous situation, right? When you don't take your chances, many times that can come back to haunt you in the later stages of the game, or at the end of the game you end up looking back and saying, we didn't take our chances, we created the chances, but we didn't take them, and that at the end cost us points. You know, it matters to Miami FC because, again, as I spoke, they want to take that forward momentum, but they've already secured themselves in the playoffs. So it's something that they're gonna want to turn around if they're going to go on to be successful in the playoffs. And this is their opportunity in these final 4 games to figure out how do they really become clinical in the final third with the chances that they create.
Now ball taken away. Velo will lead the charge here for Miami. Send it back. And this is Velo again.
And we spoke about the signing of Repetto. You know, at this stage of the season, you don't just sign players for the sake of, you know, if Anthony Pulis has signed him, it's because he believes that he's a strong player that can add value to the squad. So I wonder, with the inability to convert chances, how long is it going to be till we see him on the pitch?
Callum Chapman Page. Good spot right here, middle of the park. Stanley now attacking once more. Gets that cross just a little bit high. Chased down in the corner by Rebelar. Another clearance attempt for naught. Chapman Page heads it back into a safe spot for Miami. And Miami FC knocking on the door again.
See a lot of players from Miami FC in the attacking third. You see how high Stanley gets up and Segba's on the other side, how high they get up when the team's attacking. They're almost playing like wingers when the team's attacking. They're the ones out there delivering crosses, making overlapping runs, providing extra numbers in the final third.
Stanley whistled on the hold. 50th minute here in Miami. Drew Felios with Chris Nurse, the former pro.
Of course, when you see Stanley Segba's getting so high up the pitch on a frequent basis, that means there's opportunity to exploit that space in behind for Monterey Bay when they win possession, if they're able to turn it around quickly. Of course, you still have to get past Chapman, Page and Craig, but the fullbacks are very expansive. They like to go forward. They're not going to necessarily have the energy to defend as intensely when they go forward. So for me, there are areas that Monterey Bay should be looking to try and attack and exploit. As valuable as those fullbacks are when they're driving forward, defensively, if you get the ball and you're able to be dangerous in your possession, you can exploit those spaces that they leave open.
Velo, right in the middle of the park. Little hesitation, now moving forward. Miami just dominating possession here at the moment. Sordo trying to turn it around. Time and space to work with, and now sending it left. Switch that point of attack. Let Stanley try and send one in. This one's deflected out. So throw in here. Just feel like there could be a goal coming at any moment here for the home side.
Yeah, you feel like the pressure is building, and why it may be good for Monterey Bay to come to Miami and defend and try to leave with a point. It would be a good point given how the game has transpired so far. The pressure was still such a long time to play. You feel it's going to amount, and at some point Miami has to convert one of the chances they're creating. I don't know if just allowing them to continue to build that pressure is the best option.
Here's Maury Donor. Donor puts it into a good spot, but Jake Mcguire comes up.
Yeah, Mcguire put himself in a great position there. Had he stayed on his line, the forward has a great chance of making the run in and converting that. But Mcguire's positioning where he comes out, he's able to shut that pass off and they're able to collect it fairly easily, making it look fairly straightforward. But it's all about his starting position that gave him that opportunity.
Mcguire's not been very active either tonight. He hasn't had to be, but right there, making those decisions. So critical for a keeper.
And you see that the ball was able to go into that wide channel that's been exploited because Stanley goes high up the pitch. Just the delivery wasn't there in the final third to make it count.
Slipping through Murphy. The ball will be deflected out. As you saw Kai Green on top of it for Monterey Bay. But Murphy trying to get involved, and he has had this guy breathing down his back from the start. It's been a fun matchup Green and Murphy going at it. So here's Florian Valot. 8 assists on the season, a chance for another right here, right now. Siaha in goal for Monterey Bay. He's been brilliant. This ball sent in. Oh, you saw the keeper, Siaha, lunged forward and then pulled back. And Miami will try and run this one down. We've got a whistle. Had a few other collisions going on. It's a really, really physical game.
That was a great delivery into the box there from Stanley. That left-footed ball he delivered, it almost looked like time just stood still. It was just waiting for somebody to attack it, and unfortunately nobody did. And I think that's what's lacking in the final third from Miami FC, is somebody who has that killer instinct, that goal-scoring instinct, who's always just in the right place at the right time. So there's so many opportunities where the ball's been in the right space, but there's just been nobody with that intuition to attack it.
Look out, here it comes. Ball is off the post. Josh Perez nearly made it 1-0. Went far post, just an unlucky break.
Again, another phenomenal opportunity for Miami FC, and this is Perez, and we've spoken about how good he's been so far in this game. Again, making runs in behind on his weaker foot, his right foot, drills it across the keeper. Only a lick of paint stopping that from putting Miami FC in the lead, but Perez has been phenomenal. Really does deserve a goal in the way that he's performed so far in this game.
Corner kick for Miami, this time from the far side. And we mentioned how you just feel like a Miami goal is imminent here. Monterey Bay trying to defend for their life in this situation. Here it comes, a little bit low. Sent out. It'll be Williams. Williams sending it right. Takes kind of a funny bounce. And this ball will belong to Monterey Bay.
And you're now starting to see Miami FC carving the Monterey Bay back four apart. It's not that they've not took the lead because of good defending. They've not took the lead because they haven't been quite clinical in the final third. As you can see, Perez came ever so close here, but they're now starting to create chances just playing through the Monterey Bay defense. It's one thing if the score is 0-0 because the Monterey defense has been so solid and they're defending well and not allowing Miami FC to create goal-scoring opportunities, but that's not been the case. They've created many goal-scoring opportunities. Miami FC have just not been clinical enough in the final third.
So a near goal by Miami. Really like the attack coming out of halftime. It's Perez again. Nice ball this time, as Sorto was the target man. Donor with the extra hustle for Monterey Bay.
And we spoke about the humidity. Right now, the possession statistics is 61% in favor of Miami FC and around 39% for Monterey Bay now. That amount of running that they're having to do in this humidity without the ball, over time, it's going to wear down on them. And as you can see, the second half, Monterey Bay have been very slow so far. They haven't really caught any rhythm in the game. Miami FC dictating the tempo of play. As the game goes on, you can only expect more chances to be created for Miami FC. And it's only a matter of time before one has to end up in the back of the net.
Below, over the top. Little extra touch, and the flag is up. So Siaha under fire here in these opening minutes of half number 2. Monterey Bay coming in 12-14-3. Miami 13-8-9. Monterey Bay 4 games unbeaten. They've outscored the opposition 12-4 in those matches, but they have been dominated here on the road. Still, though, very much in it because we still don't have a goal on the scoreboard. And at the end of the day, that's all that counts. Murphy will slide this one a little bit too far.
And in all honesty, we've spoken about Miami FC having possession and creating opportunities, but look at reflecting a little bit deeper. They haven't actually tested the goalkeeper of many of those opportunities. When you look at the statistics, the shots are actually level 4-4, and only 2 of Miami FC shots have been on target. So they've been in the final third. They've had the possession. They've put dangerous balls into the box. just nobody's been there to actually get on the end of them and test the goalkeeper. Perez a couple of times, and probably 2 or 3 out of those 4 chances has been Perez.
Sordo will run it down here for the home side, and it'll be tapped out. Miami will have another corner kick. The corner kick's racking up here in half number 2. Stanley. Shot taken and sailed just over the crossbar. It was Josh Perez who got the left foot on it.
I mean, you do feel a little bit sorry for Perez. He has been working hard here, but a player of his quality, you expect him to get his head over the ball in that situation, at least hit the target, make the goalkeeper make a save. He's been the best attacker for Miami FC in this opening half. Maybe you could argue say he's been the most effective player on the field, but should have done better with the opportunity there.
Here comes Miami, 1v1 matchup. Who's gonna win this? Kyle Murphy will for the home side. So Murphy with the extra hustle. Again, Murphy 10 goals this season. Former Clemson Tiger. Played at Memphis last year, Tampa Bay before that. He has proven himself to be really a huge difference maker in this league.
Yeah, huge, good hustle there from Murphy and Green, both competing there. Murphy's hustle ends up winning Miami FC a corner kick from a ball that he maybe shouldn't have got off. I think Green had a head start on him there and probably should have got to the ball first, but his hustle still created an opportunity for his team.
Ball comes in, crashing in. You saw Kyle Murphy. Just couldn't get enough on it, and we're gonna do this one more time.
Gets a lot of connection on that header. Murphy just unable to guide it on target. Had it been on target, I don't think nobody's stopping that from hitting the back of the net.
Ball comes in one more time. Header is there. And chasing it down, Grant Robinson for Monterey Bay. How about this long ball? Aiden Stanley in position. Josh Perez.
Yeah, that pass there, so difficult for Guido to get hold of that ball. It's played forward towards him, but it's not a ball with quality that's going to allow him to hold it up and allow players to get up the field. It's kind of a hopeful pass around, not even around his neck, it's way over his head. Not sure how he's actually supposed to get that one under control, but that's the quality that they need to improve. You know, those balls that they're playing forward, give your centre forward a ball that he's able to have a chance of keeping hold of.
Chapman Page gets it forward.
Cheeky play in the centre part there from Williams.
Sordo winds up. Oh, another good save by Siaha. He has been peppered with chances here tonight. He's come up big every single time.
Yeah, and he's made everything look fairly straightforward that he's had to deal with. Again, centre backs from Miami FC driving forward here, the instigators of these attacks. Siaha just well positioned to deal with that shot, albeit taking a deflection and picking up a little bit of speed and changing direction on the way to him, but well positioned to deal with it.
Battle for it, and Miami's going to come away with it. Devin Williams. Monterey Bay wins it right back. James Murphy. Another collision. And going down, you see Chris Cortez, Callum Chapman Page trying to fend him off that time. Two big bodies going after it here, and we're about to have substitution number 1.
Substitutions for Monterey FC.
And it is going to be Simon Dawkins coming in, and Adrian Rebelar will go to the bench. James Murphy, his shift is done as well. Moby Fair will take his place.
It'll be interesting to see if these changes are being able to give Monterey Bay that kind of energy, urgency that they need to get a goal right now, right? We've not necessarily seen it so far. It's going to be interesting to see if these players coming in off the substitutes bench are able to provide that ignition that they need to kickstart some attacks and some goal-scoring opportunities.
Stanley. Header by Akinyoti. Monterey Bay. Union again unable to clear it fully. Chapman Page will start things up once again.
I think it's been a decent 65-minute performance from Miami FC. I think there's a lot to be enthused about. I think if they find a way to click that switch in the final third, this is a team that's going to be very dangerous in the postseason. Despite finishing 7th in the last playoff position, I think if they're able to make that last little connection that they need in terms of what happens in the attacking box and being clinical and taking chances, I think this is a dangerous team that could provide a huge surprise in the postseason.
Monterey Bay just behind Rio Grande Valley for that last postseason spot. The band trying to get cranked up here, trying to inject some life into Miami. They've had several chances. Sometimes when, chance after chance, you don't see that ball go through. Sometimes it can cause a lull. Union trying to take advantage, and they're going to have possession here, trying to score the first goal of the game. See if those substitutions can pay off. Donor now with it near side. Miami will try and take advantage of the giveaway. Here comes Murphy. Numbers moving forward. Good job by Monterey Bay getting back, but it's Valo. Now dead ahead, Williams.
Terrible giveaway there from Donor that gave Miami FC the ball to now regain possession in the attacking third again. It was the first time that Monterey Bay had actually got the defenders up to halfway line and were actually about to sustain some meaningful possession in the attacking half, but...
Sordo! Oh, the ball looked like it went off the face of a Union player. Oh, dangerous play right there. That ball was absolutely screaming.
Looked like it ping-ponged off of the face of Hugh Roberts there.
So Hugh Roberts getting up slowly. Talk about this being a contact game. That is the worst type of contact right there. That ball gets 2 players across the cheek.
Ricochets off 2 players, neither expecting the ball to come their way, but Hugh Roberts, a very strong player, very strong character. It's going to take a lot to keep him down.
So another corner kick coming up for the home side.
And here you see Chapman Page, Paco Craig lurking at the back here, 2 imposing figures, very good in both boxes aerially. Positioned to attack this corner kick. These are 2 players that Monterey Bay are going to ensure that they mark very tightly.
See Roberts coming out here momentarily.
And he's obviously one of the biggest markers from set pieces. You would expect Roberts to be in there marking probably Chapman Page from these set pieces, but he's missing.
See if Miami can take advantage of this. Keep this one on the ground, and now through the air, headed on. Good idea by Paco Craig, but Siaha there to knock it down.
Yeah, I think if they should have realized that Roberts was out of that and delivered it straight into the box, and had a great opportunity in that matchup to take the lead. But I think the short corner kick actually worked in the favor of Monterey Bay, allowed them to be a little bit more positioned and prepared for it.
Now it's Chapman Page. Williams gets a touch. And here's Paco Craig. Craig, calm, cool, collected. Moving forward. Passing with a purpose. You see that with the home side right now. Attacking from the right. Here comes the service. And that one airmailed over everybody.
Poor delivery there from the right flank from Segbers, but again you see the centre backs from Miami FC, the ability, almost like defensive midfielders, the skill set of defensive midfielders, able to drive forward into midfield. Craig there plays a ball with the outside of his foot, delicate pass around the outside of his foot to his midfielder. They've been so key to kickstarting attacks, just that ability to drive forward as centre backs, take the space in front of them, and then feed the midfielders in space.
So here comes Lamar Walker for Miami. First substitute for the home side. Christian Sordo's night is done. Sordo was playing under caution, so that frees up Miami to play a little bit more loose as a team.
I have good and bad memories of this stadium. The last time I played here, I actually left the field with I didn't leave. I played the 90 minutes, but with a broken wrist.
Oh.
Poku swiped me mid-air when the ball going up for a header, and I landed badly and ended up breaking my wrist that game. But we won the game 1-0, so it was worth it. It was worth it in the end. Willing to sacrifice.
Here comes Monterey Bay trying to create a chance. Lots of traffic there inside the box. And we're going to have a corner kick here for the visitors. So the Union got to be feeling really good about themselves. They have played without solid possession. See Coach Yallop here just takes one magical touch to get on the board. This play will be blown dead. Contact with the keeper, Jake Mcguire. He's had an interesting career. Started with Chivas, went on University of Tulsa, North Carolina FC, and on guard here on this attempt.
Keeper does well here, keeps his eye on the board, and Mcguire, despite the forward trying to run across him, punches it clear.
Mentioned playing in this stadium. What was your favorite venue to play in USL?
Oh, there's a few. San Antonio was definitely one of them. The fan base make it very hostile, aggressive. They support their team, a lot of numbers in that stadium. I really enjoyed playing against Miami FC. At that time, Nestor was still the head coach, so of course, very disciplined and tactical team, and they had some incredible talent in that team also.
Segbers sending it wide. Here it comes on the service. That back line defending like crazy. Miami not done with this possession. Little nudge. Still looking for that final touch to get on the score sheet. Find the open man, and now attack left. See what Lamar Walker can do. Walker 1v1. Gets by the defender, shoots just against the post. Just had a tough angle, but a great idea from that left side.
Yeah, Walker here, dancing feet. You see him stepping left, stepping right. Salsdona with a step over. Gets the ball back onto his favoured left foot. Keeper does well to make the save there at the near post. See him, steps him here, quickly shifts the ball to the left, drives it towards the near post. Sioha again coming up with another big save to keep the score still 0-0.
Just feel the tension building here.
Walker maybe the player that was missing. We've not really seen a player pick up the ball with that 1v1 skill, the ability to take players on in the way he just did so far in this game. See if he provides another option for Miami FC to try and unlock this Monterey Bay defense.
Couple players airborne. Walmer Martinez got to be careful playing under caution as he collides with Stanley. I think a good no card here, though. What do you think?
Yeah, I think he has his eyes on the ball all the time, so I don't think he's malicious. It's just he doesn't get there. Stanley obviously does a great job to get up there early, draws the free kick. And I think that, again, you know, that's the right the referee can see his intent is to do the honest, genuine thing. He's going for the ball. He's not trying to foul the player. He doesn't go with his elbows. He's not over-aggressive. He's just challenging, and he just comes off he loses the challenge. I don't think that's a yellow card. I think it's good refereeing again.
So now Velo on top of it here for Miami. also have Perez. Perez will get in position. Vallo calling him back. It's going to be Vallo. Chips it. Walker. Good piece of defending by the Union. And now Monterey Bay trying to counter on the other side. And here they come, Cortez. Foot race to it. To the end line, little nudge at the end by Paco Craig. Paco Craig, one of those players who is known to do that little bit extra to gain an edge.
Yeah, Paco Craig getting beat for pace at him behind does ever so well. Makes up a few yards on Craig, but he just sees him getting ahead of him and knows he's going to deliver that cross. Just gives him a little nudge. Now gives Miami FC the opportunity to get all 11 players back behind the ball and get themselves organized for this set-piece delivery. But there you see avenues where Monterey Bay can be effective in the final third if they're able to get Dona making those runs down the side. And he's obviously, you've seen there, he's got the beating of Craig for speed if the balls are slid down the side with the right weight on the pass.
So they call it a foul, again, just inside that end line. And we'll do it one more time here. Once again, the officiating has been crisp tonight in a game that could be difficult to officiate. They have completely taken control of it. 75th minute. Which team is going to score the first goal? A couple players get airborne. The ball will sail out of bounds.
Craig redeeming himself there. Great defending, winning that header in the box.
Adonijah Reed set to check in here for Miami. Josh Perez going to the bench.
30, Adonijah Reed coming in for number 7, Joshua Perez.
Joshua Perez did so much work out here tonight. Unfortunate, he does not have a goal to show for it, but here comes Adonijah.
Yeah, I think Perez could have had 2 tonight if it wasn't for a big save early in the first half from Sioha and the paint on the goalpost being too thick in the second half stopped him from getting himself on the score sheet. But I think Perez can be proud of his performance tonight. Frustrated he didn't get himself on the score sheet, but he did many things right.
Jace Boone also coming on for Monterey Bay. He is explosive. 8 goals this year on just 25 shots. Extremely productive. Want to get the ball into his neighborhood for sure. Can't ask to be in a better spot here if you're Monterey Bay. You've been outplayed for most of the night, but you still have as good a chance as you'll ever have here in South Florida. Good job by Gorski. And now this is Donor. Martinez. Lots of room on that left side. Here he comes, trying to get the edge and the angle up top. Shot. Oh, what a save by Jake Mcguire. In traffic, coming away with it for Miami.
Dangerous attack there from Monterey Bay, and Miami can count themselves very lucky. Great ball out here from Williams to begin this. Does ever so well to keep this alive. He ends up getting the ball back here for the volley. Martinez straight into the goalkeeper's chest. But there we've seen the danger. Martinez coming alive, and I think, you know, we don't have Waleski playing tonight. Waleski had 2 goals midweek against Phoenix. Probably should have had a hat-trick, and he's, you know, the goal threat that he's provided, I think, is a big miss that Monterey Bay have missed tonight. And we've seen that in the final third in their ability to create and take chances, that we haven't really seen that striker with that threat. Waleski's been a big miss for the squad. But there, that we saw the potential that Martinez has when he gets into the game and he gets on the ball, picking up, switching the point of attack, keeping with the play, arriving in the box at the right time for the rebound, just unable to convert.
Miami now going to make Monterey Bay chase. And if you're Monterey Bay, you're only going to get so many chances in a game like this. You're on the road. You know that it's an uphill battle.
Yeah, that chance that Martinez just had was huge. He hit it straight down the center. Had he hit it towards one of the corner, I think the goalkeeper would have had a much tougher save to make, but drilled it centrally, and the keeper was fortunately in the right place at the right time.
Couple heads on it, and now this is Basiljevic. You can see how much of a challenge possession has been for the Union. Just cannot stabilize things. And Miami chasing it down in the corner. Lamar Walker, they're gonna say it's in, and he'll wait for some help.
Walker done well there to keep that one in play, using the corner flag to play a 1-2 with, but chased a pass that was a little bit overhit, but did well to get onto it, keep it in play, and keep his team in possession.
79th minute here in Miami. Drew Felios, Chris Nurse. Scoreless draw thus far, but it's about to change. At least it looks that way. Murphy fighting for it atop the box. And Murphy's going to get called for a foul. Hugh Roberts going down. I'll tell you what, Roberts has left everything on this field tonight.
Yeah, and you feel just over 12 minutes remaining plus stoppage time. I think the pressure builds now for Monterey Bay to try and get that winning goal. For Miami FC, the pressure's internal because they just want to win games. They want to continue that good momentum that they have. For Monterey Bay, they need the win to get themselves into the playoff positions once again.
So coming off, you see Akinyoti, and welcome to the new player coming on, and it is Repetto.
Substitution for Miami FC. Entering the game, number 32, Claudio Repetto.
So Claudio Repetto making an appearance. New player, acquired from Phoenix Rising, played for Charleston last season. The Italian, they're expecting big things from him.
Yeah, and Anthony Pudo spoke about he's a player that he was aware of. He'd known him for a period of time. It wasn't somebody that they just went out and grabbed. It's somebody that they had a keen interest in for a long period of time. And, you know, given the chances that have not been converted in this game, I think they brought him in to be that guy. You know, can you either provide stimulus to the strikers that are already playing and keep them on their toes and keep them performing well, or can you be that guy that can come in and change the fortunes in the final third and be the one to convert those chances? 10 minutes left in this game. It's going to be interesting to see if he gets a chance and if he's able to take it. Still, I think there's still opportunity for there to be a winner in this game.
Stanley, see how packed in that Union defense is. Try and break it right in the middle.
Again, Stanley putting another dangerous cross from that left area. It's interesting that Monterey Bay haven't done a good enough job of getting out to Stanley, closing him down and stopping him from delivering those balls. He's delivered them all night long. Nobody from Miami FC has been able to get on them. You know, maybe Monterey Bay should try and close him down, give him less time to get the ball out his feet and deliver those balls, because if he keeps putting those balls into those dangerous areas, they're asking for somebody to put them into the back of the net.
Lamar Walker gets it back. Miami continuing to dominate possession, 81st minute. Here's Repetto, just trying to get him into the flow here late. Velo, the midfielder. Walker sending it right. Every pass with purpose. Send it back. Nicely done by Reed.
And there you're seeing that fluidity between the forward players again. Walker, who operated very frequently here on the left side, now you see him floating centrally, drifting out into the right side. It makes it very difficult for the Monterey Bay defenders to know who to pick up, when to pick up, because it's not straightforward as they just have number for number to pick up. The players interchange and move positions throughout the course of the attack.
Union trying to come back. That pass poorly delivered, and Segbers for the home side able to get to it first. Good job from Miami. They want to limit the amount of times the Union are a threat to score the rest of the way. Completely controlling this pace. Stanley ahead to Murphy. Murphy can't get to it. Playing chase here, and he goes down. Looked a little frustrated tonight. Has not fully looked like he has been in sync with his teammates.
I mean, the balls that have been delivered in the box as a striker, you'd be very frustrated if you haven't converted any of those chances. But this is good defending here from Green. Does well to read the pass, intercept it, and then use his body well to draw the free kick from Murphy there when he didn't have an option to make a pass. can hear Anthony Poulis giving his team instructions of staying focused and concentrating. And that's so key when you get to these last stages of the game and it's hot and humid, is that these phases when players or the team can lose focus and concentration, that's when goals are conceded. So he's reminding them now, approaching the last 10 minutes of the game, focus and concentration is key. Be patient, keep possession, keep building those chances. You know, the chance will come. It's just a case of who's going to be the one to finish it. But for sure, in these phases of the game now, the concentration and focus is definitely one of the key attributes that can make winners and losers. Being able to concentrate and focus even when you're physically and mentally fatigued.
This is Valo. Set it near side here. Stanley, lots of chances tonight. Still trying to chip away.
Martinez doing a better job there of getting closer to Stanley and making those crosses just a little bit more difficult. Somehow Stanley does still find a way to get that ball out of his feet and whip in dangerous balls, but under a little bit more pressure there from Martinez out on this side, left-hand side of the pitch for Miami.
Chapman Page sends it right. Here comes Williams. Looking in the direction of Repetto. Miami making it so difficult for the Union to clear it. They'll keep possession once more. Craig and Page, the safety valves. And here comes the home side, still looking for that elusive goal. Valo. Little hesitation from Stanley this time. Valo trying that middle, and here it comes. Union trying to take advantage of this giveaway. This is Chase Boone. Boone making a move, sending it middle. And Miami trying to clear it. It is Repetto. Doesn't have much help. He'll slow things up. And we saw the contact there just outside the center circle. They'll make the call.
Good decision from the referee again. He sees the foul on Williams. Not on Williams. On Reed, I think the foul is, and he just gives Miami FC a couple of seconds to see if they have the advantage. They don't have the advantage, so he brings back play and awards them the free kick.
This is Murphy. Murphy trying to make something happen. Oh, trying to be the setup guy that time. And Repetto was in the neighborhood.
Again, dangerous ball. Just no players in the right area at the right time. And sometimes that can just come from chemistry of repeating those situations in training, that players, they know how to read their teammates. They know.
Oh! And we're going to try and play on here. Official will bring out the yellow, of course. That was as blatant as we have ever seen.
I'm surprised this is just a yellow. There's one thing tugging shirts, but when you're actually pulling somebody's shorts down from behind, I think that's a little bit over extreme.
Yeah, how is Gorski not assessed a red here? Yeah, that is a little extreme.
Sees below just getting away from here, completely pulls. It's one thing to exchange jerseys, try to exchange jerseys during the game, but to try and exchange shorts. Velo for sure frustrated.
So yellow to Gorski here in the 87th. Third yellow dealt tonight to this Monterey Bay side. And Monterey Bay just trying to hang on by the skin of their teeth.
Or hanging on by the shorts.
Yes.
By the string of the shorts, you mean.
Well put. Definitely suits the moment here. Devin Williams. And Valo here on top of it. Union have been defending most of the night. Miami with several chances, especially here in the second half. Still looking to cash in.
Good opportunity here for Miami FC to take the lead. It's going to need a moment of individual brilliance to win this game. Have a good opportunity here from this set piece.
Walmer Martinez comes out, and Yiro Bariga Toyama will check in here for the Union. So Monterey Bay thinking defense here in this situation.
Taking the place of number 11, Walmer Martinez, in the 88th minute.
given the pressure that Monterey Bay have been under, if they get out of Miami with a point, you know, I think they give themselves a pat on the back, because it's not been an easy night for them at all. Miami FC have been good. They've dominated possession. They've put the ball in dangerous areas. I wouldn't necessarily say tested the keeper, Siaha, as much as they would have liked to, but they definitely put the ball into dangerous areas. They just lack that cohesion of players understanding where to be at where to time, and reading the body language and understanding the deliveries that their teammates have. I think that's going to be probably the focus that they work on between now and the playoffs, using the final games to see if they can make it come to fruition. But for sure, I imagine that's what training is going to be focused on, is a lot of final third work, building chemistry, understanding players being able to read body language, trying to become more clinical in the final third. So I think Monterey Bay, if they leave here with a point, it's more positive than negative. They still have a game in hand over Rio Grande Valley.
Oh, giveaway here. Miami's going to have an opportunity. This is Williams. Top of the box now. Stanley. Miami trying to keep their composure, and a ball sent in and just did not have the killer instinct to attack the ball in the air that time, Chris.
And that's been the theme, you know, maybe against Atlanta, maybe they were hard done by. Coach Spruce spoke about being disappointed the chance they had, they didn't convert them. But I think it's a theme that's obviously carried over again tonight, and I think it's maybe it's not accidental, it's something intentional that needs to be corrected. But if you're Monterey Bay, as you're seeing, so completely slow down the tempo of play, let the clock drain. You know you've done well to get out of Miami tonight with a point.
Siaha putting it in the air. Paco Craig rising above. Walker try and come back to it here. Instead, Siaha's going to get there first. He'll send it out of bounds. So Miami will throw it in here. 90th minute, regulation time coming to a close here in Miami. And we're going to have 3 minutes of stoppage time. 3 minutes here remaining.
I think going into extra time, the possession's been 66% in favor of Miami FC. So it's been a tough night for Monterey Bay. They've not necessarily a lot of the ball. They've been working hard defensively out of possession. Shots in favor for Miami FC, 11 to Monterey Bay, 7. 5 of those being on target for Miami FC.
Backline defense has been stellar tonight from the Union, but this one going to be sent out. Got another corner kick coming up. It's been an adventure for the home side offensively tonight. So many near goals. Still have a chance here to get on the score sheet. Siaha on guard. Looked like Murphy was trying to get a header on it. Paco Craig frustrated. They'll get one more chance.
Great defending there from Roberts to head that one away. But if there's a statistics that can tell us the story of this game, final third entries for Miami FC has been 79 tonight in comparison to Monterey Bay's, which has been just 36. The shots on target doesn't really tell the story. It's been 5 in favor of Miami FC, just 3 Monterey Bay. It would look fairly closer than it has. But this is what we're speaking about. Miami FC have done a great job of getting into the final third, putting the ball into dangerous areas, but there's just not been the connection of players being there to attack it.
Here comes Monterey Bay. Could the visitors possibly be on the brink here of stealing one? Lane created, a little bit of contact in the box we play on. Ball deflected out. Trying to chase it down is Toyama. So here is Toyama for the Union.
I think there's still a lot of positives for Monterey Bay to take out this game. They've come away from home to a humid Miami, and they're able to walk away with a point, and they're missing Volesky, who's probably their most dangerous attacker based upon recent form and his performance against Phoenix midweek, where he scored 2 and probably should have had 3. So I think from Monterey Bay, they take this result as a positive and kick on for the remaining 4 games of the season and try to see if they can get themselves back into that last playoff place. For Miami FC, tons of positives also. Just the final third isn't quite clicking for them right now. This is where they've got to make adjustments to really go on and solidify themselves as potential playoff winners.
Monterey Bay not giving up here. Still time to work with. Moby Fair come near side. Maury Donor. Shifting back, Miami in place. defensively.
Get the ball into the box. There's only 20 seconds left. You never know what could happen if you put that ball into the box.
Going to send this one out, pointed towards the visitors, and now Donor to throw it in. Possibly the last chance here for either side. And Miami making things very, very difficult here.
Oh, thought there was going to be one last chance there for Monterey Bay to possibly steal a winner from that corner kick, but the referee blows for full time.
Full-time whistle, and that does it from here in Miami. Monterey Bay and Miami FC, a scoreless draw. 1 point for both sides. Jake Mcguire played well, so did Siaha. The keepers were exceptional. We'll wrap things up when we come back here to South Florida.
Some people think Miami is just flamingos and palm trees.
And hell yes, we have badass sunsets.
But Miami's Little Havana,
Doral,
Little Haiti,
Hialeah,
Wynwood, Coconut Grove,
Kendall,
Calle Ocho,
Sweetwater,
Homestead,
cortaditos y coladas
empanadas y croquetas.
is so much more. This is the 305.
This is who we really are. This is what we are all about.
I am Latino.
I'm a disruptor.
I am LGBTQ.
I am a villain.
I am a mother.
I am Haitian.
I am an athlete.
I am an activist.
I am a king.
I am American Dream.
I am the future.
I am.
I am
Miami FC.
Welcome back to Miami. Players very familiar with each other. Monterey Bay and White, Miami FC in the home kits. Very competitive match from start to finish. Both teams a little frustrated offensively, could not quite find their top form, but Miami on one side, Monterey Bay on the other. Pick it up in the second half, 54th minute, and you see Miami with Murphy attacking here, and a great chance by Josh Perez.
Yeah, Perez with his weaker right foot drills this towards the far corner, and as you mentioned, it's only a lick of the paint that keeps this ball out at the back of the net.
Fast forward to the 70th minute. Monterey Bay with a chance of their own. They did not have many. You see Mcguire on top of it here.
Yeah, Mcguire does well to read the path of the ball, comes out, fists it away from goal despite a forward putting him under tons of pressure.
That's Lamar Walker, 1v1 here, doing a little dance with the defender, able to win that battle, but just right there off the fist of the keeper, Siaha. And then Union with another opportunity, and again it was Mcguire coming up huge.
And Martinez does ever so well here. He starts this play, then finds himself in the right place in the box, but he just drills it straight down the center of the goalkeeper. Very grateful to collect that. Had it been in the corners, I think he would have given his team the lead.
Highlights brought to you by Hellbiz Live. So Monterey Bay and Miami FC, both with bright futures. Tonight, a scoreless draw here in South Florida. Hope you enjoyed it. We certainly did. For Chris Nurse and our entire crew, I'm Drew Felios. Miami with one more home match here in this homestand, and they'll welcome in Memphis 901 next week. Till next time, so long from South Florida, Miami and Monterey Bay, a scoreless draw.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.